Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Zed from Zed Outdoors and I hope you're having an awesome day. So today I am at the Retro Outdoors Gathering, which is an event being held in the Midlands in the United Kingdom. And this is held through a group on Facebook called the Retro Outdoors Group. And it's all about kind of vintage retro outdoors equipment run by a friend of mine, Steve Armstrong, here from the UK, along with his amazing admin team. Now what this is an event that started actually on a Friday morning, which was yesterday at the time of recording this. I got down Thursday in order to get set up. So what I'm doing, because of commitments elsewhere, throughout this event, I'm using today as an opportunity to hopefully record a video where we can show you an overview of all the different things that are going on. It's a fantastic event. So far, I think they've confirmed about 150 attendees, all an amazing crowd. We've got some international contingents as well, with a lot of demonstrations going on, vendors, exhibitors, etc. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. So these are all vintage stoves, bringing...
Yes, some of them, the one in the middle going back to like 1930s. Quite a few of them are US military stoves. A military number 6 at the back, a board stove.
So for those that may not be familiar with you, Robert, in relation to the Retro Outdoors Group on Facebook, are you the resident expert on stoves and lanterns?
I've been given that moniker, yes, stove expert. Yes, amongst the stove experts, I wouldn't, you know, there's people I turn to, but amongst other groups, I'm the stove expert, yeah.
How many would you say you have in your collection?
Roughly somewhere in between 200 to 300.
Holy cow.
40 to 50 lanterns.
Oof.
So, but that's, you know, there's people with bigger obsessive compulsive conditions even than me.
Well, what's amazing with you, and you share this in the group, is that you restore a lot of the items that you get, don't you?
Yeah, I'm quite happy to get them in rough condition. Sometimes they look like they just need to go on a skip, and get them back working, looking like they should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other times I'll leave them. You know, sometimes on some of the old brasses, it's nice to have the patina on them. It's like, it's nice that they show their age rather than sort of getting the brasso out or whatever. By the way, don't use brasso. Use auto sol. Brasso's got ammonia in. Not good for brass.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know.
Yeah. No. Use something without the ammonia. That's a view back there.
What's this one here?
That is a Campingo, and it is the great granddad of the Optimus 22, which is on your right here. It's kind of like a predecessor, if you like. through several generations. I expect it's the sort of thing that was probably in a case strapped to the running board of a car, like the Americans used to do with their case stoves. Or certainly meant to be in your car.
Right.
That kind of thing.
So it's not for ultralight backpacking?
Not for ultralight whatsoever. But interestingly, they could burn different fuels. They were sort of paraffin or petrol, whereas now the Optimus, later on, you either bought one for paraffin or you bought the one for petrol, the benzene. That's what the B stands for. If you get like a 111B, the B is benzene for petrol.
So everyone, I'd like to introduce you to a very good friend of mine, Steve Armstrong, who's actually the founder of the Retro Outdoors Group and also subsequently the Retro Outdoors Gathering. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. My nerves have calmed down a little bit now, but I am a little bit tired. I'm just kind of running on coffee and adrenaline at the moment.
That's it. Steve and his family and the admin team are walking around and they've just been doing 24/7, making sure the attendees, the demonstrators, stall owners, everyone is doing really, really well. Steve, just a couple of quick questions, right? So for those who may not be familiar about the Retro Outdoors Group on Facebook, would you talk a little bit about what that group involves?
Well, we founded the group in 2015 just to try and find and decipher all the good old kit, all the canvas and brass, and kind of separate the good from the bad, basically. And people were sharing all the little rare fine stoves and lanterns and canvas backpacks and stuff like that. All the good Swedish, the good Swedish gear and stuff like that. And it just grew from there, really. And little by little, we got bigger and bigger. We got an admin team to help out. And then back in 2019, we decided, after being asked about 1,000 times, whether we were going to have a sort of a national meet-up. So back in 2019, we had our first retro gathering. And we decided that Retro's always been a charity organisation. Whenever we did patches or anything like that, it's always been for charity. So the gathering was going to be the same. We got a few guests coming over, we did a few raffles, we had some donations from Mora Knife in Sweden, we had some donations from Pathfinder School, from Dave Canterbury, and did some raffles, had a few laughs, and camped out for a couple of nights, and it just went from there. The second one was supposed to happen during COVID, but we had to delay it, and that's where we are today. So this is Retro Outdoors Events number 2.
And this is 2023, and the location here, by the way, Steve, is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, this is a scouting venue, so we're really lucky because they don't normally allow non-scouting groups to use it. I've got to thank Jonathan Tate for getting our foot in the door, so to speak. And the organisers and the staff of this venue have been really, really fantastic. They've been really welcoming to us and really, really supportive right through COVID. And we're just really lucky to have access to a space like this, yeah.
And I do want to take an opportunity to thank you, your family and your admin team for working overdrive. Truly, you guys have been walking around non-stop, making sure everyone's okay, they're good, they're happy, they've got everything they need. And that shows you guys care, man, about everyone having a good experience at the event.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and a couple of other guys that I met along the way kind of had this philosophy that we were going to try and make it so our full-time living was going camping with us mates. We just had to pay for it. So this kind of is all linked to that, being able to go camping with your mates and give a little bit back to a charity, So it's this kind of event gives you that opportunity, yeah.
And what charity is the proceeds going to?
So it's a Yorkshire charity called Martin House Children's Hospice up in Wetherby, and Martin House specialise in respite care for children with life-limiting and genetic illnesses.
And if people want to find more about the group and subsequently the event, where is the best place to check you out?
So we're on Facebook, that's Retro Outdoor Equipment on Facebook, and the same on Instagram. And also if they want to find out more about the charity, it's martinhousechildrenshospice.org.
Steve, I really do appreciate your time. I'm going to continue documenting the rest of the event for the viewers.
No worries, mate. Cheers.
So are you easing in the bend on this?
Sorry, mate?
Are you easing in on the bend?
Yeah, so it's like by compressing the point that you're bending it with the bodkin, it makes a cavity that the material can close on, basically. So if you imagine, if you needed to, make a 45-degree bend, you're going to remove a section, but by compressing it with the bodkin, that just gives it a space that it can move into as you fold it up. That's basically the idea behind it. It's just about making that little dent, and then as you bend it up, just removing the bodkin, it gives it a space to move into.
So are you making a traditional trap to trap annoying YouTubers?
Nah, man, it's just a spider web. Why, do you want me to entrap you?
That's it, you're the bigger net.
This is actually Camilla's basket, she should be doing this.
My shopping basket.
So I'm here with a very good friend of mine, Danny Reid. Danny, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So you're running the Bushcraft Journal stall. So what is it you're doing at this event?
Yeah, so we're running kind of like a craft stall where people can come, make some spoons, raising a bit of money for the Martin's House charity. I brought a load of blanks so everybody can pay a £5 and they get a blank, then they can finish them off. Or we brought a load of green wood down as well, where they can get their axe work in and they can make their own, shapes of spoons or whatever that they want. So yeah, it's all good.
Man, your setup has been a hive of activity from the moment you've opened up. You've got tea, coffee and biscuits.
Well, that's the thing, Zed. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. You offer the biscuits, the people will come for sure.
So, also want to briefly touch on the Bushcraft Journal itself and kind of what it's about and what you're doing with the project as a whole, for those who may not be familiar.
Sure. Yeah, so basically the journal now has been going for 8 years. We've had, since COVID, we had a bit of a hiatus where I took some time off, took a bit of a break, rekindled my life, my relationship with my family and all that. And we're going strong, we've got people from all around the world who want to write for us and write content for us. We've got the best in every aspect of the bushcraft world. And it's a wonderful thing, we're trying to build a community on all different continents around the globe. And it's an online magazine. If you go to the website, we've got a couple of test articles up there that we're doing, and we're going to continue uploading things over there. And it's a good thing, to share that information and share the love for the outdoors, and that's what the journal's all about. It's what it's always been about. So yeah.
No, I appreciate you sharing that. And with your permission, going to do a bit of a pan around of all the hive activity around your stall.
Absolutely. So we've got the biscuits, the essential hive.
That's it. That's what I want to get on video.
The heartbeat of the area. We've got the brew, the kettle, the biscuits, and then we've got the guys working the axe work. We've got some stumps, the table. Everybody's just having a nice, easy time. Got the central fire pit, of course. You set up a fire and it's the centre of any good campsite, isn't it?
Appreciate you taking the time out, Danny. Thank you.
No worries. Good to see you, mate. Bye. Never served me though.
So I'm with Jonathan of Sherwood Forest. So, Jonathan, for those who may not be familiar with the work that you do, would you like to talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, sure. So Sherwood Outdoors, it started with the Outdoor Field Guide, which is a compilation of, there's lots of great books out there. I wanted a book that encompassed all the need-to-know bits rather than going into too much technical detail. It's waterproof, you can take it outdoors. So from the book, people asked for the banners. So these are particularly popular, particularly the garden birds.
And these illustrations in that one particular, you've done yourself, haven't you?
Yes, that's correct, yeah. I wanted to put it together with all the 50 of the most common garden birds. I was going to initially buy them from a stock library, but they wanted too much money, so I painted them instead.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do.
And they're beautiful, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I sell the prints as well, and through the Sherwood Outdoors, and do going to schools, teaching about fire, its history, safety primarily. Let them have a go, and the science of fire, and string making, other activities within schools.
Excellent. If people wanted to find out more about the work that you do and the book, etc., where is the best place to go to?
If you get to the website, sherwoodoutdoors.co.uk.
Excellent. Really do appreciate you taking the time, Jonathan.
That's all right,
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you.
And then maybe just leave it under here.
Well, that'll do for Sunday night. I'm sure there might be seconds as well. They usually are with things like this.
Oh yeah.
The thing to do is put this back on the plate because some more good juice will come out of that, which we don't want to waste. That's splendid. Right.
Well done.
That's how beef should be.
So this is a banner product called the State Detective. It's run by a buddy of mine who does a lot of World War II reenactment, themed, jerky, sauces, etc. and spices. And all being well, I will be doing a dedicated video with him in the near future, so do keep a lookout for that. But yeah, I've heard nothing but great stuff about this.
Well, jolly good to see you, old bean, and do be careful. There's reports of Germans in the area, just doing the tour, you see, and apparently last night they dropped a few in, so I'll have to round them up. But if you're stuck for rations, there's an imposter over there called the State Detective. You may have heard of him. But do be cautious, fools have ears and all that jazz.
And what are you doing, sir? You're doing your rounds now?
Doing the rounds, making sure the troops have rations and making sure there's no sign of Jerry, you see. And yeah, just making sure we're stocked up on the home front here.
So I'm currently just sat in front of Paul Smith, who's come down from Scotland. Paul, a pleasure to meet you, buddy.
Likewise, likewise.
So whereabouts exactly have you come down from?
So at the moment I'm living on the east coast in Murrayshire. I'm originally from the west coast though, out in the Outer Hebrides. I had to eventually move from the Outer Hebrides. I was there for 20 years, but there's no trees, there's no nice rocks to bash, and so I had to make the move to the east coast so I could start exploring new resources and sort of learning new things, just having new materials available to me.
And for those who are not familiar with kind of your background, your focus is on primitive skills, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So I have an interest in all primitive skills. There's some stuff I sort of gravitate to more. Primarily fire and pottery are my two sort of favourite things. Shelter building as well has been a very kind of favourite subject, if you like. That and the use of mushrooms in early man's sort of evolution. So mycology has also become quite a keen interest of mine.
So at the retro event, what is it you're doing?
So at the moment I'm just doing some pottery. So this is some natural clay that I have found in England actually. So my other half lives in England and I fly down and spend time with her, and we have a stream that runs through the green in our village in Ripley, and I go there and I harvest the clay, and I don't have to do anything to it. It's some of the nicest clay I've ever come across, and I just dig it out of the bank. I work it in my hands and I take out any impurities, and then when it's ready and it's nice and soft like this, I'll sit and I kind of I don't really have any plans as such. I just kind of make things up as I go along, but clay is one of those materials or tools that allowed man so much more potential when it comes to the storage of food or the production of tools, even for hunting in the form of clay ammunition and that sort of thing. It's one of those skills I think that's it's almost overlooked. It's very sort of soft and gentle, but as a skill set it's fundamental in man's progression, if you like. The ability to collect and store materials, planning for the future and that kind of thing. But also it's just one of those, it's so therapeutic. It's like a lot of these skills, say carving or flint knapping, any of these things that kind of take your attention directly to the piece you're working on, and allows you to sort of, it frees your headspace, if you like. And so I can sit here with a ball of clay and just come up with ideas and try and kind of make the things I'm seeing in my head come to life, if you like. And I'm teaching it here at Retro. One of the things I love about teaching pottery is the fact that whilst I might sit here and make a cup or some pendants or some functional sort of storage vessels, we can have sort of kids come along and they can make ants, or I've had kids make me like avocado on toast made out of clay before now. So it's a way of putting someone's mind in your hands, if you like, and you get to kind of see that visually, a representation of what their thought process might be like. And so that's one of the reasons I love teaching it, because I can teach someone the basics and then they can go away and make it their own thing. And I love that because it gives you an insight to that person and what they're like as a sort of creative being.
And a heads up to the viewers that me and Paul are in discussions about me potentially visiting him up in the north of Scotland.
Absolutely, yeah.
To do some videos. But in the interim, Paul has a fantastic YouTube channel. What's the name of your YouTube channel? Should people want to check that out, Paul?
So it is, my YouTube is Paul Smith Primitive Bushcraft. That's about as original as I could make it. And same with all my social medias and things like that. I try and upload videos there sort of whenever I feel the inspiration. There is a lot of pottery stuff on there. There's a sort of from beginning to end pottery series on there. So if this is something that interests you, then that might be worth having a look at.
Paul, really appreciate your time and best of luck with the rest of the demonstrations throughout the event.
Thank you very much.
So a big part of the Retro Outdoors gathering is the actual retro tents. So there's an encouragement to people. Obviously it's not an absolute requirement that if you can bring some vintage accommodation and equipment and stoves, etc. So what we're going to do, we're going to have just a little walk around, look at some of the shelters. I've gotten so much inspiration from seeing some of the setups that there are here. Also my shopping list has increased. That's been a byproduct. My bank balance is not going to thank me for it. But let's have a quick walk around and look at some of the shelters. So there's a lot of great shelters dotted around, but this is one of my favourites. Belongs to a couple of gentlemen I've asked permission from to have a little walk around. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi Zed, yeah, I'm Steve Foster. Chaz's Outdoor Adventures actually on Instagram if you want to have a look. But,
oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah,
do you want to talk us a little bit about kind of the shelter setup that you got here?
Yeah, so this is a wheeling shelter. So it's the originally they were designed by I think it was Abercrombie and Fitch. So they're like an old military style sort of designed as the packable tent I think at the time, and they're really versatile. It was made by a guy called Steve down in Poole Bay Bushcraft. Yeah, and it's one of his tents, and they're absolutely bomb-proof. I really like the sort of open-fronted sort of style of it, so you can get in there. We've had a bit of a downpour, as you know, Zed, and it's you just drop these front poles and the front peak drops down and you get a massive amount of protection in it, so they're really versatile.
What material is it made from?
So it's a really heavy cotton. I'm not sure what the weight is, but it's it's like military grade. It's super. If you touch it, it's so solid. Yeah, it's real good stuff.
And inside, what's the kind of rough setup you have inside? We're starting from the left here. You've got your side table box.
Yeah. So this is a coffee box little idea I've been working on. Because it's rained, I've put it all away. But I have like sort of wooden slats across it, the lid open, and a little vintage stove or a alcohol stove, something like that. And I just tend to sort of make my brews and stuff with that. And then across the other side, the wooden box is like a chuck box really from canoeing. I used to be a bit of a canoe instructor and stuff back in the day when I was in the military, and it's kind of a little bit to that, but the traditional style of doing it really, so I like that kind of stuff. I'm into like swags and sleeping on the floor as well. I did a bit of hammock camping, but I do prefer the sort of on the floor and being able to see nature and all that kind of stuff when you're out, so it's fantastic. So it's that kind of retro, heavy robustness about all this kind of kit I really like. So.
Dude, I love your chair, man. I love the chair.
All right, so
that's a really nice chair.
Cool. So this is obsessively scouring Instagram and stuff at things and googling at everyone's ideas and that. And the Japanese, their style of bushcraft is really cool. They set it all out. It's all feng shui. And I saw this chair on a lot of their stuff, and it's called what's the original name for it now? There's not a penguin chair. It's got it's a Kermit chair, and the original Kermit chairs from America cost a lot of money. But I searched for something that looks similar, and this is it. So it's called a Spatz woodpecker. It's a direct sort of replica of a Kermit chair, but for an affordable price. I got it for less than £100, and they sell them in the UK as well. They're brilliant.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so there's a couple of outdoor. I think I got it from a place up in Newcastle. I can't remember its name, but you know, if you do a Google search for the woodpecker chair, you'll find it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Really low level.
Yeah.
You buy little extensions for the legs as well, so you can prop it up and make it a higher
But some of them can look very, I don't know, like tacky or very kind of like modern. But this one, I don't know, it's just, I think because of the canvas colour as well, like the kind of tan brown colour of the actual seating, and then obviously you've got the wooden frame as well.
Yeah.
That's really, really
cool,
lovely. That.
It all sort of fits the bill, doesn't it? And the heavy canvas rucksacks and all that kind of stuff. And then I've got a bit of a collection of axes as well, so I like my English vintage axes. These are all Elwells. The axe and the edge tool company, they've done hung all the handles on those for me, and they're you know, I just love having them really. I'm not that good with an axe, but I just like having them. It's one of those, you know, it's like.
No, I appreciate that. If people want to kind of check out more of what you do, you said Instagram. What's your Instagram profile?
Yeah, so it's Chaz's Outdoor Adventures. So it's I've got a small following, and not huge, but I'm working on it, you know. And lots of pictures.
No, that's fantastic. I really do appreciate you letting me have a look around and for kind of talking us through. Thank you so much, Chaz.
Cool, that's brilliant, yeah.
And now we're looking at the neighbour. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dave Cohn from Sheffield. You can see we've got the Woodland set up here, same as Steve's. It's heavy canvas. Made the poles myself, chopped them down with some brass sleeves so they can all slide in. It's a pole actually for barging, is what it was for.
Ah, interesting.
And so otherwise you've got to get some kind of ridgeline set up or do something similar to what Steve's done. And camp bed with the airbed underneath and the Swiss first aid blanket, and that's
That looks like quite a long bed, or is that the side table that's on the
It's probably the side table making it a bit longer. See, that side underneath my shirt, there's a rucksack and gear and stuff like that, so that just makes it look a little bit longer. It's about 6 foot, 2 metres, I think it is. It's bob on really. Packs down to a nice little small size.
Yeah.
It keeps you off the ground, keeps you dry.
And I noticed you've got. It's not what I've not seen before. Is an under blanket for your chair?
Yeah, it's war bonnet. It's from America. So war bonnet we do a bit of hammocking. So we have the hammocks, and we have the tarps, hammock tarps from War Bonnet. They're absolutely first class products. And when I was on their website, I spotted that, and I looked at it, and at the time thought, yeah, it's a little bit geeky. I wonder if that'll work. And then we'd been out one night and. Cold backside, and I thought, right, I'm going to get it, and it's absolutely perfect. It works really well. A couple of twigs to make it fit the seat, and
yeah, I've never seen one of these before. Just do a little pan around. Yeah, so you've got like a under blanket for the thing. Dude, that's amazing.
It works really well. It just keeps you warm.
Is it designed to fit most chairs, or?
Yeah. It's actually, I think it was designed to fit the Heliox chair, the tall. I think it's the Journey one, I think they call it. But I found it fits more, so that's been used on 2 or 3 different chairs, and it just works perfect.
Yeah.
You can adjust the sides, so it's got little straps at the sides here.
Right.
These here, so you can just tighten them up, so you tuck it in. You know, so you pull these, which pulls it tight to keep it all just below the seating area.
Yeah.
And when I was first using it, when you actually sat and you slide your hand underneath, you can feel the warm air.
Right.
Between you know, the bottom of the seat and the insulation. It's spot on. It really works well.
The final question I've got for you is, obviously you've got the central tarp up, right, as your admin area. What's the pole in the middle? Keeping it propped up. I've not seen this style of pole before.
It's actually off Amazon. So it's one of these poles,
right?
Extendable pole, flipped upside down.
Oh, interesting.
And it's obviously it comes down to this size.
Yeah.
Packs down to this size, and you get 3 or 4. I think it was about 25 pounds. I think you got 4. Really good value.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good. I've not seen that before, actually.
And then when we run out of them, the old-fashioned sturdy method.
That's it.
Can't go wrong.
Did the old school style.
We made sure that both of them curved, so it looked like we were putting them under tension.
Yeah.
And then there's fire pits and Madcon, which is actually one of. I think they're fantastic. Them.
I'm not familiar with this brand, Madcon.
So I believe, I might be wrong on this, but I was told by the company manufacturers that they first saw it somewhere in Africa, and it folds down into a case which is literally about 1 inch thick. this size. So if you imagine when this goes away, that's
Yeah.
the size of the case, but it's only that thick. The whole lot just folds in.
Oh wow.
And you can put it in the back of your Land Rover, back of your car, and when you open it up, you literally just pull it by the handles and the whole just drops out.
Oh wow,
Just
amazing.
drops
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that brand
You can use
before.
it for cooking on.
South African overlanding
Yeah.
firm, aren't they?
Oh, is it what it is?
Yeah,
South
yeah,
African
yeah.
overlanding firm.
They're really big into like the sort of grilling and barbecue.
Take the grill off, and
Yeah.
it becomes a fire pit.
You know, it's not really my field of expertise at all, the off-roading. But yeah, I've noticed it's the South African and Australian companies, isn't it?
Yeah.
That really kind of got their finger on the ball, you know, when it comes to that
they've
stuff.
got the utes and stuff, haven't they? And
Yeah.
they load them out, don't they?
Yeah.
At least they've got the space, haven't they? It's,
Yeah.
When they're going from one town to another, it's hundreds and hundreds of miles, and if you break down in between, you've got a problem.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I really do appreciate you taking the time and letting me look around.
Yeah, no worries.
No problem.
Thank you so much. So that way is the main area, and the venue is incredible. It goes all the way back. You've got this entire woodland area, and people have pitched up some hammocks, they've set up their own thing. It's been kind of intermittent rain. But yeah, people have done some incredible setups, you know. But the location is incredible. You know, you have so much room here to set up however you want and whatnot. So. So here we've got a couple of different types of shelters. We've got the hammock setup here, which is actually done really nicely because of the rain. No doubt it's had to be covered quite a bit. Set up underneath. I don't want to be disturbing the gentleman over here. How you guys doing? You alright?
Good, thank you. You? Good,
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, just having a look around your digs, man. So they've got the one tiger. Which one tiger shelter is this?
So that's the hammock hot tent.
The hammock hot tent.
Hammock hot tent, that is, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, like a TARDIS.
Do you walk in with a thobe and like, you know, start sweating away?
No, luckily there's no stove in it this weekend. But
Right.
Yeah, it's good.
I didn't realise it was that spacious.
Yeah.
This is amazing. This.
Yeah, take a look inside, no problem.
That'll be okay.
Yeah. I ain't got a hammock in it, even though it's a hammock hot tent.
Let's have a look. So yeah, this is like supported by a ridgeline, quite a heavy duty ridgeline, tie outs. Yeah. This is well spacious.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite impressed. Yeah, that's it, the one Tigris. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
No problem.
So it's approaching the evening, and what's happening now is they're holding a charity raffle. So they're charging £1 a ticket, and some incredible prizes have been donated. And once again, all the money is being donated to charity. So yeah, that's it now. We're all kind of rounding ourselves up for the group raffle on a Saturday evening. And I bought a bunch of tickets, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Let's see.
What it is, it's the neck of the actual, yeah, we're talking about the length, the material you can get through on that inside.
The ball band edges and carpet trims, so obviously some of the band 3D flowers.
It's tough to get a load of, especially that new material with that plastic.
Right, before we do the prize draw, I just want to say a few words about a member of Retro that we lost recently. Graham Crane. I know a lot of you knew him or met him online or whatever. He was an active member of Retro right from the early days. Always put his hand in his pocket for patches, bought extra patches and gifted them to other members and stuff like that. And sadly, Graham was going to be here this weekend, but he died really suddenly last Friday. So if you've got a drink in your hand, just let's have a toast for him, because he did like a drink, did Graham. If you haven't got a drink, just toast him later on when you get back to your camps, okay? So, here's to Graham.
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 Where's Richie? Richie. Now, a lot of you probably don't know Richard because he keeps a low profile, but he's kind of our health and safety officer, legal advisor, and admin sort of guru when it comes to paperwork and posh wording of official letters and stuff like that. Rich hasn't bought any raffle tickets today, so he's totally impartial. So Rich is going to be doing the draw. Now we've got 7 prize bundles, ranging from 8 prize bundles, ranging from quite a tidy little one, up to an absolutely ridiculous amount of kit in one prize. So we're going to start small and finish big, okay?
645. All part while everyone checks the tickets. 645. Yep.
Quite at this one because this is the Blade Maniacs mini pack.
So I'm with the Axeman, Marcus. How you doing, brother?
I'm tired, but okay.
It's the morning of the last day. It's been a very late night for everyone. Now, unfortunately, because of the weather, I wasn't able to film Marcus doing the axe making workshops. So you work at Woodland, don't you, in Sweden?
Yes.
And what were you doing? You were doing a workshop teaching people how to hang an axe?
Yeah, they bought an axe kit with an axe head, a wedge and a handle, and I showed them how to put it together.
Yeah.
And then I helped them put it together.
So basically people walk away with a finished axe?
Yes.
Amazing. And how many workshops did you run?
3.
3. How many people in each?
Between 5 and 7.
Between 5 and 7. Very, very popular workshop. It sold out very quickly when it was announced. Yeah. And Marcus is here at every retro gathering, aren't you?
So far.
So far?
Yeah.
So far. Hopefully the next one as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to capture him at work on video because it just got so busy, but I wanted Marcus to appear on the video. But yeah, he came down from Sweden, from Wetterlings, ran some fantastic workshops. And how did you find the event?
It's great.
Yeah.
A little bit wet, but...
Yeah, a lot of rain this time around on certain periods of the weekend, but overall it's been fantastic. Marcus, really appreciate you running the workshop and great to see you after so long.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So that's it. If you ever come down to the retro, you can spend a session with the Axeman making your own axe. So we've got Dave come down from Military Mart with his mobile setup with some incredible stock as always. Really, really nice stuff. He's one of the leading army surplus retailers in the UK. I picked up a few bits myself from here, which has been awesome. So he's also selling stuff out the back of his Defender. Yeah, and usually has a much bigger setup than this. All depends on the event. But yeah, some great stuff I've picked up in here. Got some vintage pouches. I picked up some of these vintage danglers. They were dirt cheap, like really cheap. Some folding cups, army issue plates. Yeah, some incredible stuff. Hopefully doing videos with him in the future. So a big part of the setup over the Retro Outdoors Gathering is the catering. So when you buy a ticket, what's included for this year is the evening meals. But what we've got Chef Extraordinaire Paul Harvey and his amazing team who have been knocking up the food all weekend, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and the food has been absolutely incredible. So we're all here now for the breakfast on a Sunday morning. Get fueled up, get tanked up and get ready to go for the day. But yeah, Paul's been knocking it out the park with the breakfast.
Thank you, Paul. We're down, Paul.
So I'm just talking to Ian, who's been helping out with Danny Reed at the Bushcraft Journal marquee all weekend. He's doing some fantastic work, and we were just talking about the work you do with the Scouts.
Yep.
And I thought it'd be worth getting on video briefly. So what is it you were talking about in terms of...
So Bush Scout is a National Scout Actor Support Unit. We do bushcraft training or outdoor education training for Scout leaders to pass on to their young people. We do several a year in different areas, different districts, and we do sort of multiple sessions with tarpology. We do game prep, fire prep, pioneering, safe tool use, axes, knives, swords, that sort of stuff. And then we also do tomahawk throwing as well.
Oh, nice. And it's all voluntary, isn't it?
Voluntary, yes.
Everything, yeah. So you're quite heavily involved then, all that side of things?
Yes, yeah, I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah. And just a quick question for my learning, your scarf, your Scout scarf, that's going around your neck, what does that signify?
So this is the Bush Scout necker, so it's sort of what team I'm part of.
Right.
Yeah, so different groups will have different colours.
Right.
And it all represents, we have badges on the back.
Ah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
And people want to find out more about you, the work you do, where would they go to?
Online, it's bushscout.org, I believe,
right.
is the website.
Ian, really do appreciate you taking out a minute or so to kind of talk us through. Also, it's something I was unaware of as well.
No,
so I thought, felt important to get it on video. Much appreciated, Ian.
Cheers,
thank
buddy.
you.
Thank you.
So, Bill, you were doing one or two things. You're processing buckskin, or you're doing your clothes washing. Which one of the two is it?
So yeah, just using the steel cable to just fluff it up and break the fibres a bit. So we did this yesterday as a bit of a demo. So softened it, and now it's just a case of running it on the steel cable to get it nice and fluffy.
And this is one you've been processing from scratch, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So it was dressed, but then it was left for too long, so some of it went a little bit papery, a bit hard. So yesterday we just redressed it, got a few people helping, stretching it out, softened it. Now we're just finishing it off on here. But yeah, the cable just does a nice job of fluffing it all up. So this is going to be something towards a pair of trousers.
So there you have it, my friends. That is a wrap for this video. Really do appreciate you watching all the way through. I know it's a very bitty video. That's because there was so much going on at this fantastic event. What I'm going to do, put a link below to the Retro Outdoors group on Facebook, and that's where you can find out more information about what the group does and their annual or biannual kind of meetup. So a link will be below in the description. Once again, do appreciate you watching. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos on the Z Outdoors channel. And as always, I hope whatever you're doing, you have a blessed day, a blessed week ahead. From myself, Z Outdoors, at the Retro Outdoors Gathering of 2023. Peace out.